And we're live here at the studio. Recruiting hour with Shea Dixon. Hashtag Ask Shea. Lloyd will be with us soon.
Yeah. Free Lloyd. Free Lloyd.
Lloyd's in the principal's office. He'll be with us soon.
He's in the coach's office right now.
That's a better analogy.
Having a little meeting.
Just a little postseason meeting.
Exit meetings.
Yes, this is what you do at the end of the year.
Trying to get him back.
All right, we'll let everybody start to roll in here. Hit me with the hashtag Ask Shea in the chat. We got to get off top here, Stewie. John Bro came out the gates. Will's already come with the hashtag Free Lloyd. We've already got it trending.
Yep, it's already there.
John Bro asked Shea, I see Walker Howard committed to Ole Miss. Wish he would have gone to TCU. What was your reaction this morning, Stu?
I'm not like, I'm almost like not.
You're not
really
tripping.
Worried because Ole Miss is not like it's not like he's transferring to Bama. He's transferring to Ole Miss. Like they'll probably go 8-4 next year, 9-3. Okay.
Well, and it's intriguing, right? Because they have Jackson Dart back. They're in the Spencer Sanders mix for a portal quarterback coming out of Oklahoma State.
Damn. I didn't even think about that.
So, but then if Sanders goes there, does Jackson Dart leave again? Or like, Jackson Dart wouldn't sit. Yeah, right.
Like, it's kind of like Lane is kind of telling him, I don't believe in you in a sense, because if I'm going to bring in a young former 5-star quarterback to run my offense, then I don't really believe in you. Especially after he was a starter last year and they won, 10 games? Or they won, 9? Something like that.
They lost the bowl, right? They fell apart at the end.
It was bad at the end. But they started off undefeated.
Dart wasn't great, but Dart has a lot more experience than Walker. That's a thing that makes it very tough to just insert a redshirt freshman in at quarterback when you've got pressure on you to win the West and compete. That's why they're in it for Spencer Sanders. He's played a lot of football at Oklahoma State.
8-5.
That's not great.
That's not great at all. Sounds like 8-5 again next year. I mean, I don't know what their record is. Well, what their schedule is next season, but I still don't see a path for like them to be a contender at any point.
If they have Jackson Dart coming back and they got a portal quarterback like Spencer Sanders, and for some reason both stayed, Walker's not getting any more reps than he would have gotten here.
No.
So he's got to bank on that they don't take a quarterback, or that if they do, then Jackson Dart leaves.
Yes.
Because if he wants more reps than third-string quarterback, you've got to be one of the top 2 quarterbacks.
Yes. And their schedule next season is Mercer. They play at Tulane, Georgia Tech.
Tulane, that's a tough
I know.
At Tulane?
At Tulane.
That's funny that they're doing that.
Georgia Tech, at Alabama, LSU on September 30th.
Early.
Arkansas, Auburn, at Auburn, Vanderbilt.
They have a tough opening schedule.
Yeah, Texas A&M, at Georgia, ULM, and then they
they drew Georgia on their
yes.
Ole Miss is in for a world of hurt.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see a path for them to be like a contending team. That's why I was kind of confused by him transferring to Ole Miss instead of TCU, because TCU is kind of making moves in the transfer portal, like adding the pieces to really become like one of those teams, and Ole Miss is not.
Here's the thing. I think that just the reality of the situation, LSU came out as best as they possibly could here.
Yeah.
Because you keep the top 2 quarterbacks on roster.
Everybody with experience.
And Walker, in theory, would not be playing for
another year or 2.
Maybe more than that if Nussmeier is clearly QB2 right now.
Damn.
I don't think anybody can argue that.
No, he's like the clear-cut number 2. He threw for 300 yards against Georgia in the second half. Like, I think people get that lost almost. I mean, the pick in the bowl game was bad. We all know that. But Nussmeier is the future of this quarterback room.
No one freaked out when TJ went to Auburn or Max went to A&M.
No.
Are you freaking out a little more at this?
Not really.
Not really.
I mean, I watched Walker Howard in the bowl game. This first snap.
Well, you've seen him in high school. He's from your area, too. I mean, he's a Acadiana kid.
I know he's good, but it's like if he didn't want to compete here, then I mean, I
Well, in the
understand.
reality, he's not there yet. And to get to wherever he wants to be good enough or whatever it might be, you need reps.
It's gonna take another year, probably, for him to really get comfortable at Ole Miss. I would say it's probably gonna take a year.
Well, now you're going in and learning a different system. You know, you had a year in the books in Denbrock's system, and now you're going to the Charlie Weiss Jr. Kiffin system,
Right. So I guess
which is quarterback friendly.
Lane gets to throw the ball 60 times a game again.
It'll be interesting to see. I'd be a little surprised if he were out there next year, especially with that schedule you just said.
Yeah.
When you look at that schedule, you see too why they're going after a Spencer Sanders.
Mm-hmm. They need a
They
veteran.
need more help. They need someone who can. I mean, they wanted someone above Dart. You can't consider Walker Howard above Dart at this stage. Dart was playing at Southern Cal.
Yeah.
Dart played all this past year at Ole Miss.
It's tough. That's why I was so surprised, because it's like Jackson Dart was obviously their starter last year. He had a competition last season. The backup then transfers this year, and now you get Walker Howard in the boat, and it's like, okay, so you just don't like Jackson Dart almost.
Shad says people are too big on potential. Well, that's what half the game is, but I agree. That's what I'm saying in terms of we know now what Nussmeier is, and it's good enough.
Way more than good enough. I could see a world.
Are
where,
you on the Nuss bus?
Yes, been on the Nuss bus.
Where do you
JD5.
stand with JD5?
I'm all for JD5.
You're on both.
But I'm on both buses. I'm here.
So you're happy
I'm
that
in the LSU QB
the portal
bus.
came and went, and that
We came
the
out
NFL draft came and went. You got both of them.
Right. Yeah, I'm good. Like,
You're chilling.
I'm just chilling. John Emery's coming back. Get to watch John.
What'd you think about that?
I mean, after last week went by and it got to like Friday and I knew Monday was the deadline, I was kind of like, all right, he's probably coming back to school, because he hadn't put out any type of like media, any type of tweets, like nothing. He wasn't, besides the get it done in 2023 for Gordon, which I'm sure that was just like a part of his NIL deal. So like once he didn't put out anything, I was like, well, he's coming back to school. He didn't need to announce it, I guess. Or he didn't feel like he had to waste the graphic.
Yeah, the
time.
get Gordon, I guess, maybe was his announcement that he was getting it done again.
Yeah.
You know, I looked up yesterday. I think he has. I don't know. I'm ballparking this, but it was like 170 something career carries
Yes.
across 4
yards.
years. So if you're thinking about like tread on the tire, is 170 carries. Jeremy Hill, or excuse me, TDP, Brissett, Clyde, those guys all went over 200 carries in a year in their final year. He's got less than that for a career.
Right.
So there's still some burn, right?
Oh, he has tread on those tires for sure.
Which is so weird. Just like he's in such a unique situation of former 5-star number one running back who, when he's coming back for his 5th year, you either assumed he wasn't good or that he got injured like a bunch.
Yeah.
And neither of those happened. He
Suspended.
the
for a
15 game a year plus suspension at what would have been his money year
year. It threw a wrench in his career.
throws a
for
whole
sure.
kind of press pause on it.
Like, I mean, I see why he would come back, but it's almost like the NFL is like he's prime for the NFL.
Do you want the running back? Okay, if every running back from the roster comes back, what do you want the touches to look differently? They also went through odd spurts where guys were hurt. Like,
Yeah, it was.
well,
it was a
Emery
weird
didn't play the
season.
first 3 games because of the suspension, or 2 or 3, whatever. Armani Goodwin was starting, and then he got injured twice.
And he looked good when he was.
He
starting.
did.
Like
He
was,
averaged the most yards per carry of anyone in the room.
right, and he was the bell cow. And then Josh Williams came on late, and it was like, all right, now Josh Williams is the guy. And then Noah Kane in the bowl game looked like he could be the guy. So it's kind of like you have 4 running backs that you could just rotate. This is a Frank Wilson running back room, though.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent of the 2011 running back room. Like, kind of like just different styles of, like.
That's a good point.
You could just throw anybody in there, and it won't be a fall off. It'll
No.
just be a different skill set.
Shoot, I can remember people thought the fall off was going to be Josh Williams. He ends up being the
One of the best
most
ones.
reliable one you have.
Yeah. So it's just like,
I thought that was big news.
It was.
And you hope he can hold on to the football
oh
and
my goodness.
high step his way into some
John.
more big plays.
All you got to do is hold on to that ball.
You know, it's so wild because Frank Wilson, running backs, like if you've ever been around him, I went and listened to him at the Frank Talk at the spring coaches convention, whatever.
He's free.
Oh, does he?
The spring convention, whatever. What do you call it? Coaches conference thing. What do they call those things?
Like the coaches caravan.
It's like where they like talk to high school coaches.
Lloyd would probably know more than me. He used to work for the LHSAA.
Convention.
Yeah.
The
like
coaches convention.
Convention.
I went to Frank's. I went to all of them. But Frank's literally was about ball control. And he went through, like, at Ole Miss, like, these guys went in the NFL and set the record for most, like, games without a fumble. Like, Leonard, I think, went however long in the NFL without a fumble. That just isn't a thing for a Frank room. So for a guy like Emery to get you a little nervous every time he's in the open field where you're like,
And it was almost like just a last year thing because before he really never had like fumbling problems, I wouldn't say. Like his freshman year, he never really fumbled. He just missed assignments. And then the next year was COVID year. He looked good in the games that they gave him the bulk of the carries. He looked like the feature back. And then they would go away from him, and it was like, all right, now we don't have a running back. But he never really fumbled in 2020. It was like this season he had the issues in camp with the fumbles, and then it turned into a season thing. And now it's kind of like John's thing, where every other carry he might fumble. But it also might be a touchdown. You just never know.
He had some big touchdowns. He's so good in the passing game, too.
Yes. I think he was – would you say he's LSU's best pass-catching running back?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, they used him in the pass game. Like, he was the guy that they –
And he's dynamic. I thought that was big news.
Yes.
Not that I thought – and people are going to be like, well, was he going to go pro? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, and see if someone takes a flyer on it.
I'm almost positive an NFL team would have taken a flyer on it, i.e. DeAndre Swift or any other pass-catching running back with next-level skills with the ball in their hands.
Right. Let's see. We got some people starting to roll into the chat now, talking. I wanted to parlay here. So, okay, I'll jump around here. But Tavius Clark asked Shea, can you talk about how loaded Louisiana is at running back in 25? We know about Harlem Berry, but there's about like 7 to 8 SEC caliber guys throughout the state. I don't have the full count up, but 25, like we're about to be in the 24 class in Louisiana, and it's okay. It's not 23 where we kind of forget because we cover LSU, but that there's Arch and Derek Williams and Tackett and Jaden Osbury and Jordan Matthews, who made a big jump in the on-3 rankings. Apparently they said he's going to start next year. That might be out of necessity, too.
Yeah, I think they lost like their
he's a hell of a
top
player.
2 corners, right?
LSU made a mistake there.
Yeah.
They slow played it.
They fumbled that one.
They fumbled it.
I think
That's okay to say.
Yeah. It was almost like one of those situations where it's like BR kid, his dad went to LSU. I think his mom might have went to LSU.
And his stuff heated up right when the new staff got here, and it was kind of like, oh, well, we're out recruiting and getting to know everyone. And by then it was like, man, look, I got real teams coming after me.
Yeah. Because I actually remember being at Woodlawn covering the team, and Tennessee was like in and out. Like they would come every other week almost to see Jordan. And I would just ask him, like, why doesn't LSU come see you like that? Like, does LSU even reach out? And he would just say, like, I mean, not really. They aren't talking to me like that. Like they talk to Toviano or who was another kid that was committed in the 2023 class that flipped, another corner.
Dalen Austin. Like they were on all those guys way harder than Jordan Matthews, and I think Dalen Austin and Jordan Matthews' games are kind of similar. They're ranked right about alongside each other right now. So
long, lengthy corner, cover, probably could play some returner, track guy, like basically the same player.
I've got okay. So Tavius asked about the 25 running back class. I just mentioned 25 in general. 23 had a bunch. I mean, you could go 15 deep on 20 deep on big time signees. we'll have to see where 24 is in the state. Kind of a lot of guys who are more in that, 100 to 300 range of the rankings. Not so many like sitting around a bunch of top 100 guys, but 25 is deep in the state of Louisiana. There are players all over the place. That will be one of the more fun cycles to cover. But at running back, Harlem Berry obviously gets talked about a ton. He's got an LSU offer, already ranked as like the number one. What? Let me see where he is.
He's
early.
the only player on here.
On the consensus? It's probably because only when people have early rankings out. But early ranked is the number 2 running back in the country. I saw him at LSU's camp. He was real good this summer. And he was just coming off a freshman year. He had Brian Kelly giving him one-on-one time.
Wow.
So he can play. Where he's at St. Martin's and was from Metairie. Then there's the Homa kid, Jalon Coleman, who plays at Vanderbilt Catholic. He's already debuting as like a top 50 player.
There's a running back from Opelousas.
Yes, and then Deshaun Ford, who has an LSU offer too. And he's already starting to blow up. Someone was saying he's related to Michael Ford.
Oh,
people in the chat might know. But that's 3 right there that are LSU full on getting recruited. 23 will be a fun time to cover.
Yeah. I was reading an article about Kobe Young yesterday. It's just 2024.
Yeah, right. He'll be in town this weekend, I think.
Okay, because he was saying like Tennessee left a lot to be desired. Like they put themselves in a prime position for him. Tennessee,
and he's out of Holy Cross, right?
Yeah. And doesn't his brother play at Vanderbilt?
Does he?
I think he has an older brother that's like Vanderbilt or somewhere Power 5.
Huh. Okay. But yeah, I know they're hosting a bunch of kids this weekend for kind of a junior day type event. So he'll be in town for that. We'll start to get a feel for who they're really after in the 24 class because we know all the big Wardell Mack, Kalaj Cobbins, Trades Green, Tylen Singleton, obviously coming out of Manny. Don't they already have a commitment from like Wallace Foster?
Like that might be I think that's the only commitment.
Jawan Johnson is a big time player who I think could probably battle to be the number 1 player in the state eventually. He's quarterback at LCA. Went off in the state title, but he's a corner.
A true corner?
I think he's DB corner. But he'll be interesting to see. This weekend, we'll start to get a better feel for 2024 guys. The staff is going to host a bunch of those kids on campus, and they'll have some out-of-state kids there, too. John Burrow asked Shea, Bama linebacker Demoy Kennedy entered the portal. Do you think we pursue? This is so interesting here because, like, when Demoy Kennedy came out, he was 5-star, pressing for 5-star, and he was a freak. Like, this is like right after the Calevon time almost, where it was like, who can you find that's like that? Mm-hmm. And everyone was like, this dude's film is sick. He's just done nothing at Bama.
Yeah, I mean,
granted, you're playing behind Will Anderson too, but
and Dallas Turner.
They've got a lot of nice guys. I mean, when you go to Bama, you got to beat out a lot of really good players to play.
I was looking at it was like a graphic of all the. I follow this page that puts out a graphic of all the positions signed by which school, and edge rusher Bama signed. I want to say they signed
all of them,
like 3 of the top 4.
Yeah, Keon Keeley's beast.
And then they signed like 2 of the top, like 2 more in the top 10. So they loaded up on edge this year.
Well, 3 of the top 4, you know who they didn't sign? Oh, Deshaun Womack, who moved up to number 12 in the country.
Needed it.
He's a beast.
Darren Reed's really high on there, too, on the defensive tackle.
Yeah, I saw he slid back a little bit, but still like top 60, which you would take him.
Yeah, I mean,
that one stung.
That's an automatic take.
That one stung. You have to play him, too, at Auburn. But anyways, on Demoy Kennedy, you also have to remember, like, this is a whole new staff. So everyone that, like, Coach O and all those people had connects to him out of high school, you don't have that this time around. Like, yeah, you recruited him to LSU, but he doesn't know any of these people.
Right. It's tough.
But we'll see if they kick the tires there. They've added 10 guys already from the portal. And heavy on edge anyways, so yeah, kind of what they do if they want anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, On 3 has all the projections to LSU in this top 10 for 2024. So I'm just,
It's early.
yeah, it is early, very early. But the
So-
whole top 7 has 100% or
Got to lock down the state.
yeah.
Lock down the state. Okay. Ooh, Will said he got a NUS 101 auto this weekend. Collecting them cards, Will. I'll see ya. Oh, yeah, Cordell Music stays on that NUS bus, he said. Okay, ask Shea Hunter Fournette, what's the shot of the DT up north that's coming down for a visit? So on Tuesday, this is Wednesday, obviously, when we're recording this. On Tuesday, Jamar Cain went up to Chicago and saw Jamel Howard, who is really the only kind of uncommitted D tackle, nose tackle out there, at least that they're in on. And he played it smart. He's a 3-star kid. He wasn't highly recruited. Has a good senior year, starts to get a couple offers and says, I'm not going to sign in December. I'm going to hold out till February.
Right.
Then Michigan's all over him, LSU, Ole Miss.
Smart kid.
Bet on yourself.
Yeah.
Lamar style.
Lamar is struggling with that one right now.
Well, it got off to a great start. But anyway, so he's going to visit this weekend, take an official. So 2023 recruiting ain't dead yet.
And I mean,
You signed 25 high school kids in December, but hey, still sniffing around. And I think if they don't get a DT or a nose tackle in this scenario, you want to keep Fitzgerald West there.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I think that's his more natural
I do
position.
too. Especially if DJ Chester can come in and maybe
Play center.
if you want to play center, then that solves that one.
There's time to be had there.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Hunter Fournette says JD5 doesn't have a bus. He's a wave runner. What would the JD5 people be riding?
I said, I don't know, like a sports car. He's like a JD5 is like a sports car. I don't know what kind. I'd give him like a Corvette. Nothing foreign. Just like something,
Okay.
something real nice though.
A citizen, nothing foreign. Let's see. I'm scrolling through here. We got a lot of JD debates. Yeah, people are talking about Goodwin. You got to just have Armani Goodwin get healthy. He was injured in high school too, which it's kind of sucked. It's kind of just always had to battle through injury.
Who's this?
Armani Goodwin.
Oh yeah, he's just been hurt every year.
Let's see. Oh, we got Nick chiming in here on Jane Rashada.
What's the issue with that? What is
How-
it? What's the deal on that?
Did y'all read that Athletic article? It was insane.
No, I did not.
They had like all the Gator Collective like attorneys on record, and they had like there was a $13 million like contract drawn up, but then like they had sent a termination letter on that in December. Like they just never said anything publicly. So like it wasn't like he just showed up and was like, "Oh, you aren't giving me the check." Like this stuff's been brewing. It sounded like for about a month and a
We've
half.
been telling you we don't have that 13 million.
We had sent you a letter, and then you didn't get it. So I don't know. I mean, he's going to have options, but it clearly doesn't seem like he wants to go to Florida.
Yeah, no. Florida's out. I don't. What is Florida doing? Like what?
I don't know.
Like they're in a bad place.
They were trying to go after Walker hard.
Yeah, but I mean, if
Did not work.
Walker sees the situation unfolding with Jaden Rashada, and he's like, "I'm not coming here."
H-Town Creole asked, as Shea, Georgia has an inside linebacker in a corner in the portal. BK kicked the tires. We'll check in there. I do know this. They are watching every linebacker that comes in the portal. One of them already committed, like, Oregon State or something. One of Georgia's linebackers. Might have been like that Trayvon Marshall kid.
Transfer portal is a crazy place. Try to stay out of it.
It's wild.
It's too much.
Yeah, pull up portal and then go to, like, Georgia.
Oh, you can go to like specific schools.
Yeah. Go to like transfer portal, right there, and then click it by the school. Click on Georgia. All right, it'll do most recent at the top. Where are the linebackers at in there?
Oh, MJ Sherman.
Nebraska.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I saw. But there's some other linebackers I thought maybe that entered.
Yeah, I don't know. It was MJ Sherman. Oh, Tresman Marshall.
That's who I was
He's
thinking
in,
of.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see if they kick the tires there.
But I mean, like, do you really want to go the route of, like, this guy probably hasn't played much at Georgia, which is why he's transferring. So it's like, if he can't play there, can he play here? Like, and do you know
Right.
what type of player you're getting?
No,
when
that's the
he
other thing
comes?
too, is you see all these kids who may have been highly ranked and they go to Georgia, and then the coaches, I mean, they'll call, in a situation like this, you call Georgia and they're honest about it, and they're like, look, coach, here's where he's at, here's why he's entering,
Right.
and then you're kind of like, all right,
It's just tough.
we'll see.
It's just a tough situation to be
LSU fields calls all the time from talking to people of, other team, any team that's going to take a kid, hey, where's he at? How's he do there? What, what's his development been like? How's he in the locker room? Like, those are all things the kind of coaching community kind of just shares. So, Rob Boudreaux, we need you on every day at 10. I got to work. I can't be doing all that. Oh, Hunter Fournette, shout out. Yeah, see, I got the green on 3 bill today. I have a bunch of different colors, but this one's my favorite. Tavius, yeah, Barb and Jennings, he said, both have running backs too. I know Jennings had one for 25. So Frank Wilson, maybe get them boys to reclassify, spread them out. Miss Taylor checking in. Or what's up, not Miss Taylor?
I want to ask you about Monty Montgomery from Louisville. He's a linebacker.
Yeah, he had a lot of production.
Visiting Ole Miss today. But
Ole Miss is hot in the port. I'm not saying that because of
they're just
Walker. They just are all kind of dudes.
Transfer to the SIP.
I mean, they wear sweatshirts that say transfer to the SIP. So,
but I was just wondering if LSU reached out. Was it like any LSU smoke there? Because On 3 has 100% Ole Miss. Right
yeah,
now.
I have not heard anything about setting up a visit or anything. But I'm curious because they've got to make a move at some point on linebackers. I think there's that kid at Virginia too, maybe Nick Jackson. He's really good, but he can't go anywhere till the summer. Like he's finishing out the spring semester at whatever school he's at now. I think it was Virginia. But anyhow, he entered a while back.
I think I know exactly who you're talking about.
And he's supposed to be pretty good. And he's taking visits like to places now, and I would watch for him if they don't make a move and try to get him on campus for a visit.
Yeah, it is Nick Jackson.
Nick Jackson.
Auburn's 100% right here on the On 3 prediction.
We'll see what happens if they get involved there. But I did hear they had a linebacker targeted that wouldn't be able to get here till the summer, and he fits that bill. He's already said he can't go anywhere till the summer, and he's pretty good. They got Whit Weeks, bro.
Yeah, Whit
He's
Weeks
stressing, dog.
Whit Weeks is a player.
He is.
You told me about it, and I
Hell of a
didn't take
player.
your word for it. Watched the All-American Bowl highlights and everything, and he looked good. He looks comfortable in coverage. He's athletic.
He's like the perfect Baskerville replacement. Can cover, can play in the box, doesn't matter, do it all for you. I like him.
Shaping up nice.
He's got to battle his brother. It's a thing.
Yeah,
you want to get on the field, beat out your brother.
Him and Harold Perkins would be a nice duo.
I think so, too. They'd complement each other well. Hunter Fournette shouting out the middle Moses is in that 25 class.
Yes. LSU has to get him.
He's a beast.
It's almost like a must get.
Yeah.
And I
I
think
think he's being recruited by everybody now.
yeah, but I think
Bam, A&M, they're
the
all going to
family's
be
a
all
little
over him.
sour over the way they handle Dylan Moses.
Well, that could be Bama then, but A&M's all over him.
I mean, he loves LSU.
Long time away, but
Not really. You never know.
let's see. Miss Taylor asks, Shea, how far are we behind in NIL when it comes to paying guys? I don't think they are that far behind. I think there are some schools that are going about this very aggressively. I think a lot of these numbers beyond like a $13 million, which is obviously not true because they wouldn't even pay it to Jaden Rashada, so that might as well have been worth zero. Like these guys aren't getting $1 million deals like left and right. Like I think a lot of guys are getting 100,000 and below across your college. But already a stipend for SEC teams, and LSU's is more as anyone. So this is like cost of living, all these different things that come with being a football player, D1 athlete at LSU. You get like almost $50,000 across the whole year. That's a starting point. You don't even need an NIL. You're already getting
they
nice
do give
chunk
him,
of money.
That check every month.
Yeah, and then you spend it on your rent, your
Rent,
bills, and your leftovers or whatever.
Rent and bills, huh?
So
Sounds good. Go buy these designer shoes real quick.
Miss Taylor's rocking that Bengal tiger hat. She says, he says, depending on who's on today. But I don't think they're that far. I don't think they are that far behind in NIL, and they'll have all the collective stuff organized, and I think all that's going to continue to grow and be ways for fans to get involved, big boosters to get involved. I think they're fine. You signed a bunch of good players this class, and we didn't hear about any NIL drama.
No, not at all.
Sean Womack didn't show up and dip.
No.
So they got something figured out.
Yeah. This is not LSU related, but have you seen the latest on this Cormani McClain situation?
Well, what is he doing now? I mean, I saw he went to Colorado.
Yeah. Well, he was on Instagram saying that he was.
So this
in
is
Florida,
a big time corner
number one corner
that was committed to Miami, or is committed to Miami,
Yeah.
I guess technically.
Well, he claimed that he was in Florida. Like, he's posting on his Instagram, like, tagging Florida location. But the picture surfaced of him on campus for a visit in the Colorado uniform, like, maybe minutes after he posted that he was in Florida. Then he posted a subliminal message on Instagram again with a picture of himself with, like, music lyrics saying that people are lying about his whereabouts, almost, basically. So it's like, bro, we saw the video and the pictures.
Oh, man.
And his family confirmed that he was in Colorado. Like,
Right.
his sister might have tweeted a picture out of them, like, the whole family.
Well, sis got him in trouble.
So it's just a wild thing going on with him.
Cormani.
It's almost like one of the more wild recruitments I could think of, besides, like, Zach Evans and Demetrius Robinson. There's been a couple, but it's not very, like.
Well,
often
remember
that
all
happens.
this started when on his birthday he was like supposed to commit to Florida, and like the Florida staff, like Napier and all them, did like a video and put it out, like
They thought they
wishing
were
him
getting-
happy birthday, basically, and then
Then he commits to the
he went to Miami,
like,
and then he doesn't sign, and now he's dragging it out. But Bilbo Baggins said Reggie Bush wasn't even worth $13 million at the time. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
A mid first rounder is not getting $13 million guaranteed.
Oh, I mean,
If you're
Tennessee-
giving $13 million to someone, I'm giving it to Joe Burrow to come back for a fifth year or whatever,
Right.
not to some dude that I don't know,
I don't know what he's gonna do.
the 160th overall player and the 9th best quarterback.
I guess.
Stop. Not me.
When you need a quarterback coach, you'll do anything.
But this is what everyone said too when people were like, oh, NIL, you can get all these boosters. It's like there's no return on the investment. So when you throw around some $13 million, they're gonna be like, we've kicked that dude off the board now. He's not in the collective anymore. We've terminated the agreement. We're not paying anyone $13 million to play football here.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
What does that do for your locker room?
I mean, it tells everybody else you're not that important.
Yeah, I mean, come on
He
now.
is.
Oh, John Bro said, as Shea, do you think Preston Hickey from Oklahoma State, preferred walk-on, can make an impact on the D-line? He looks like a nose tackle type to me. I would assume that would mean he's behind Guillory and alongside a West or behind a West. I don't know.
I mean, he probably depends on.
But
what
he's from the
depth
North
is.
Shore.
Where'd he
Spent a
go?
year at Oklahoma State, now he's here. But he's a big-looking kid.
Yeah, he does look big.
I'm not familiar with his game, but I've seen pictures.
Yeah,
Big kid.
Guess
I
what
guess the
else to
last walk-on on the D-line that played a good bit was probably Meatball, a.k.a. Dennis Johnson.
see.
Went on to become a coach and still coaching, D-line coach at Baylor. He's got him a little first-rounder coming up. Apu Aika.
baby. I'll take
Sorry
it.
to say that, LSU fans.
Yeah.
Miss Taylor says Cormani to Colorado, book it.
It's already booked. Probably signed the papers already.
Bilbo said this is bro Bible sliced bread energy. What does that mean? I don't
Bible.
I don't know what that means.
Me neither. I'm out.
Jimbo Fisher.
Hmm?
Jimbo Fisher.
Oh.
Remember the Bro Bible, sliced bread?
Oh God. It's terrible.
Hopefully, man, I'm catching up with the chat, so maybe that was something else, not related directly to us. Miss Taylor, Lloyd missing. Lloyd's off today. He's chilling.
Yeah. You got an off day.
Let's see. I'm reading through the chat, so I'm a little quiet here. We got some. They're just debating in here right now. Okay, if you got any questions, you can still rock them with Ask Shea. I don't know who they're talking about getting injured. I don't know. Best injury I've seen bounce back from was your boy Quincy Wiggins.
Oh my! I mean,
That boy.
I've never seen that video.
You never saw the video?
Still haven't seen that video.
I mean,
They scrubbed it though.
yeah.
All American Bowl scrubbed that. I mean,
It was very scary.
Yeah, I heard it was.
He could have died.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It was like he flew like 20.
So
feet
this
in
was
the
when
air.
he was, for people who don't know, he was coming out of high school. He was at the All-American Bowl. They were all out riding those scooters, which are already a bad idea. Half those people crash them. And someone kind of blows through a stop sign or just doesn't see them cross. And boy, he went flying. And he just got up and walked off.
Broke his
I
wrist.
think he broke his wrist and was out of that thing in no time.
Like, okay.
I'm excited about him.
I am. He looked good in the bowl game. He looked like he was. It looks like he's starting to get it. Like he's starting to understand like what the position is, and how to use his hands, how to, come out of his stance.
Right.
Just simple stuff that he probably didn't know 2 years ago or a year ago.
He's going to be good.
Yes.
They got a lot of good options on the D-line.
It's just the depth is kind of still working on the depth, but it's getting there.
Miss Taylor asked, any intel now on what the hell happened with Ricks? It looked like he really wanted to come to LSU. He even said it live. Did you see that?
Yes.
Did we talk about that?
Yes, he was like, I want to be a Tiger. I mean,
They're like, what'd you tell Nick Saban? He's like, ready to be a Tiger. I mean, come home and roll tide or whatever.
Like, bro, you wanted to come to LSU. It's cool.
You think he did?
I think he did.
Even though he went to Alabama?
Yes. I mean, this is a common case, Shea. We got.
I don't know if like Bama went so wild on some NIL deal
He
that
probably did though.
I think that Bama probably did something along the lines of like, if neither team wants to get into like a bidding war over a kid, which is fair. You don't want to be out there bidding on a high school first.
No.
You shouldn't be doing that anyways. But I bet Bama probably said something like, all right, here's what we're out, take it or leave it right now. And we're not going back to any,
We're not
they
changing
matching
numbers.
it or what. No.
None of that. And LSU was probably just like, we're not gonna, because it seems like LSU is more of like, come here, prove it, and you'll get, the money will come. Like, the money is not like, we're not coming to the table with, okay, we have X amount of money for you to come, or for you to sign here. It's more like, okay, you'll sign here, get some play, like get a little playing time under your belt, then you'll get the deal. I mean, there's some exceptions to that rule, i.e. Harold Perkins, but those type of players you got to do that for. But if you're just a regular 4-star recruit, not top 10 at your position, but you're still a good player, they're telling you come to campus, get some playing time under your belt, get some notoriety, gain some following, then you'll get the NIL deal.
Yeah, that's what I think it is.
Cause like,
And you're getting your stipend money.
yeah, because some schools.
And we're going to do. I thought Jackson Howard made a great point on this, who signed with LSU. But he was talking about, and his dad played in the NFL. He was talking about it over the summer, and he was like, there's more value in me picking LSU because they're going to develop me, and I get to play on the biggest stage in the SEC. And if I pan out, I'm going to be a high draft pick. If I go to some other school that doesn't have that sort of kind of national built-in, LSU had the most players on the active roster in the playoffs.
Yes.
Then it was Bama, then it was Ohio State or Georgia. So
It's
if
coming.
that's the company you keep, there's only a handful of schools, those 4, 5, 6 teams maybe that could be like, hey, we turn out NFL talent. If you come here, we can develop you, and
no time.
you'll make way more money than NIL money at the next level.
Yeah, and I actually thought Ohio State was gonna change the game and pay C.J. Stroud to stay.
Isn't that what you should be doing with your NIL like that?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think that's more.
If I'm
of
giving
a-
$13 million to somebody,
I'm
which
giving
I would never do
13
that. If I'm giving $1 million to somebody, or
I'm giving it to him.
I'm giving it to someone that has been playing that I already know what I got.
Yeah,
over-
Heisman runner-up.
Well, and I'm sure guys like Jaden got
Yeah,
a little. They got Gordon or whatever, and NIL'd it a little bit to.
the money's coming in.
You know what I mean? Not $1 million or $13 million or whatever, but
Yeah, and I bet Jaden didn't sign here because of an NIL deal.
no,
Like,
he wanted to play
right? It
on a
wasn't-
big stage. And at some point, it's that I value more that time's running out on me. I need to play somewhere big.
And I need to be in the game.
And then for Jaden, you need us as much as we need you.
Yeah.
Handshake and let's move on.
Let's get into this.
Let's go. Let's get start.
So we're dating now, right?
100%. Who was the last STM kid we recruited that worked out in our favor? John Corbello for Heisman? ? Well, I guess before Jack and Walker, I can't remember the last STM kid they signed, unless I'm just missing somebody.
I mean, I can't really think of the last like Acadiana kid that came here and didn't stay.
Well, that was the thing. I can't remember the last kid out of Acadiana that was big time that didn't come to LSU.
Right.
And then homeboy that went to Bama,
Danny Lewis,
the tight end a year ago. And now Derek Williams bounces out. Got to check on what's going on in the Acadiana area right now, Stu.
LSU's just not hot down there. And sometimes it just gets to the point where I'm tired of Louisiana. I want to move on. So I could go 2 hours down the road to Baton Rouge, or I could go to Texas, which is 4 hours. And it's like I don't feel the need to,
right,
when I get some free time, to go down to New Iberia and maybe possibly get in trouble. That's how I look at it.
No doubt.
I don't know if that's how they look at it, but from knowing the situation in New Iberia and the area, it's like, all right, I could go to LSU, but I know when the weekend comes,
I'll be back home.
You're right. We don't have a game. I'm gonna be downtown Lafayette, and that could go however it goes.
Yeah, you downtown Lafayette usually not great by my experiences.
Right.
You can get crunk in downtown Lafayette.
Exactly.
Boomtown.
You could run into some trouble in downtown
No
Lafayette.
doubt. Daniel Glenn asked Shea, can you project out the kicking position in a few years? Who's LSU looking at? I don't know if they're eyeing anyone right now. The state's got some good kickers every year, actually. But you would have to think, right, that Nathan Dybert kid, the left-footed kid that they had signed from Michigan. Well, and it was Greg McMahon who went and got him, and McMahon got York and Tracy and Damian Ramos just to be a preferred walk-on. So, like, I got to trust that
I
my
trust,
man knows what he's doing with his kickers.
It's just
And
the situation now. That's why
I think with Ramos, too, you know what you're getting. He's not
a long distance.
He's not going to make it from 50-something yards, but if he can get more accurate,
You're all right.
be consistent, he's good. Make your extra points.
Dibert looked good in the kickoff.
And then
game,
I don't know if it's Dybert or Dibert, but yeah, and he's a lefty.
yeah, that's a little
Kick
different.
him out the end zone. That's all I'm worried about.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't think they didn't do anything this class at kickers. So clearly,
They didn't go special teams at all, right? Like besides
like Aaron Anderson, I guess.
that's it.
Yeah, no. And you got Bramplett coming back.
I'll take that. Is Peyton Todd still on the
Still have
roster?
Peyton Todd. He just finished his second year.
Is he like?
He was hurt, I think, a lot of his first year.
Okay.
And then maybe there was the expectation that Bramplett would just be done with college after this, or maybe test out the draft. But
Bramlett's pretty good.
one more year. Hey, that's a solid ad.
Yep.
Shout out Brian Polian for bringing him from Notre Dame. Kid can kick.
Yeah,
Helped win him the Bama game.
Yeah, I give Brian Polian his credit.
All right, there you go.
You know.
As Shea, with how big this is Hunter Fournette, big Jackson Howard is now, do you think he gets any run early on? I mean, maybe. There's a lot of options, especially with these transfers. But Jackson Howard's a big kid.
yeah,
He's already 245 or 250.
Him and Deshaun Womack are the two probably most college-ready defensive linemen you signed.
No doubt. There's also too, like, he's ranked as an edge, which is that B. Joe Jalari stand-up role. But Jackson Howard can.
I was talking
to some people there, like, we can put him get 280 on him.
Yeah,
easily.
he looks.
He's got
give
a
him
big
more of the
frame.
Ali Gay position.
I would think so too. I think he's putting his hand in the dirt and playing there. So you would have Paris Shand from Arizona, and then just whatever you're doing with how you line up Mason Smith and Mackay and any D tackles you want to play, or Savion Jones, obviously.
Yeah. Would you go
Quincy Wiggins?
Would you go Mackay or Mason Smith at the nose? Because they've been running like that nose type of defense.
I would be playing Savion, Mackay, and Mason, and then I would have Womack standing up rushing. But boy, do they have options.
And I mean, they could just.
The Jefferson kid from West Virginia is supposed to be all right.
Yeah, they could just.
Jalen Lee can give you snaps.
They could
Guillory.
put Perkins at the edge
And
position.
then that's what I'm
BJ's
saying.
right
You still
there.
are put Perkins on one side. Do the Bama. Put Perkins on one side and Womack on the other, and just let them get after
Let
it.
them meet
See
at the
what
quarterback.
happens. Caleb asked, was Womack wearing a cast on his arm? I think he's just got it in a sling. He had some minor surgery to clean some stuff up on his shoulder, which Hunter mentioned. Shad 720, look out for Carpenter from Santa Ma. Hey, I'm high on Dylan Carpenter.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the tape.
I like
and
him.
I like him too.
And he's a big kid.
Yeah, he's definitely like a 290.
He could be an edge DN type for you, move around on the D line, but he'll be a good player. They signed some good defensive linemen. Let's see.
So I'm not really concerned because the players that they signed are like quality players. It's not like they just went like star chasing. It was like, all right, this guy's a quality guy. He can help us win. He adds depth.
100%.
And then, I mean, they all can play. Like if you come to LSU, you can play. So it's just about getting them on the field and seeing where they play at and where they fit.
I trust in Jamar Cain there. He's been at big schools. I mean, coming off Oklahoma and all that, like, you know what you have to recruit.
We had, the best defensive lineman. I would say Mason Smith because they're challenged for the best defensive lineman in the country this year and got hurt, and the defensive line didn't really have a drop-off. So it's,
Miss Taylor said, do you think the two freshman running backs, Caleb Jackson and Trey Holly, can they get any carries if all four running backs come back? I would say the path to that is guys getting hurt or you know what I mean?
Maybe like special teams. They'll probably.
Oh, for sure.
They'll
Yeah.
both probably.
Right. But like
teams.
Goodwin is, got banged up. Like Josh Williams got banged up. And you got to a point where you're like, Derek Davis, can you give us some reps? That would be reps going to those guys. So I would think Frank rotates that room. He'll get them some touches. But in terms of meaningful stuff, I would think it would take either somebody to transfer out or some of these guys to not be available for a game or two, and then they can get a few touches in. Tavius Clark asked, Shea, do we still have issues at Manny? I might like Tylen Singleton even more than Tackett. Well, Manny's coaching staff just all changed up. Mm-hmm. You saw that?
Yes, Jess Curtis is leaving.
Didn't he go to...
He's going somewhere that's like not big in football, but like it's a name. I can't think about where it is though.
Natchitoches Central.
Natchitoches Central, right? They have amazing facilities, right? Because he posted.
Oh, I'm sure
he posted some pictures on Twitter of their facilities, and they are like nice. I don't know much about Natchitoches Central. I just know.
People got nice facilities.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't realize. I was looking at some Central stuff. I was like, damn, they got some nice facilities.
Like, just random schools.
Zachary stuff's awesome.
I mean, Zachary.
Catholics rebuilding all theirs.
Zachary has better facilities than some, like, D1 AA schools
in
doubt. Louisiana. Like,
no doubt.
They probably have better facilities than Southern, honestly.
Be interesting to see what happens with Tylen Singleton as they get a whole new staff in there. And I think this staff had kind of smoothed over any worry at Manny anyways. They just weren't ever going to get Tackett. So that was just the reality of it.
I like it. I like him more than Tackett, though. He's more versatile than Tackett.
Tylen?
Yeah. Where do you project him, linebacker or safety?
I think he'd be a linebacker too. But I think he's also more of a safety than Tackett was. Mm-hmm. Like Tackett was just straight downhill. I'm going to knock your head off. I like Tylen Singleton. They've had some good players come through there recently. Let's see. E-Dub, I'm from Shreveport. Why isn't there an emphasis on having a coach from Shreveport, not 318 on the staff? I don't know. You only get 10 spots, so can't have them from everywhere. Joe Sloan was just up in La Tech for like a decade. They have a lot of guys that know
got the ties up there.
The North Louisiana area. Let's see. Oh, LSU Odyssey, go Shea. Shout out to my man Lon. Love you, Lon. Hunter said maybe against some of the bad teams on the schedule, you can get the young running back some burn. That's probably true. Bilbo Baggins, Shea, where did you go to high school? I went to Hattiesburg High in Mississippi. 5A Mississippi, boy.
Come to the SIP.
And our quarterback in high school actually was Martin Hankins. And he played for Hal Mummy at Southeastern for a while and then went up to Memphis and played. And now he's been an SEC referee for a long time.
Oh, wow.
Refs a lot of LSU games.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
So I got If I need to know anything in the ref circle, I'll reach out to him.
You should get him to shave some points on LSU players.
You know, too, he was the guy. He was the back judge for the Elijah Moore Mississippi State that drew the flag. Obviously, that then they flipped the game.
Threw the flag.
I'm sure that everyone threw a flag, but I do
God.
because there's that photo of him peeing. Then he's the guy standing right behind him, like in the referee.
Wow. That was the all time.
Oh yeah, Daniel Glenn said Coldest is at La Tech now.
Yes.
Saw that.
Strange kind of change for him because he's LSU commit, then he goes from LSU commit to Nebraska.
Right.
Gets hurt his first year at Nebraska. Mickey's the head coach at one point. And then obviously he went up there for Mickey.
Right.
And then Mickey gets fired, and it's
Right.
like now I'm left.
Now I'm going back home.
Yeah, it's bad for him. I feel kind of bad for him.
Where did Omarion Miller sign?
He signed to Colorado.
Did he?
I think he did.
He had a good senior year. That'll probably be a good player.
Like I'm almost
One-time LSU commit out of North Cato. He did.
Yep. Signed to
Or he
Colorado.
committed. I'm not sure if he signed, but either way. Yeah, he committed. Yeah, back in December. Maybe he signed. I don't see that. Shad 720. How about Zaylant saying he's going to be the starting left tackle next year? Hey, he's got that confidence. I think he's going to maybe be the starting right tackle.
Play left tackle, coach.
Do what you do. But we're going to be right tackle for a little bit here.
So you think they'll just slide Emory Jones inside?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's Emory's best spot, I think.
So he'll be the right.
You're not taking Emory off the field.
Yeah, and Anthony Bradford declared for the draft.
Yes, that's an open spot.
So yeah.
But you got Dellinger and Miles Frazier back too, so those two guys do something for you.
And yesterday, LSU announced their leaders of the offseason program.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
Charles Turner was a SWAT team leader.
Right, and Miles Frazier is one too. So
all right,
I'm guessing they're putting
they see
some
leadership
stake,
in
right.
him. Be interesting to see how all that unfolds. Hey, it's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have.
What if Zaylant's beasted and was like the left tackle and Will moved to right tackle?
That would be a
And then his quote about "I'm coming for Will's job" hits a little different.
yeah.
No, I don't see any reason why you would need to move Will. He's already got a year under his belt, so
He was mauling.
put your boy Zaylant's in at right tackle.
Were you in Orlando?
Yeah.
He was
Crushing
mauling
dudes.
people.
He was by far the best O-lineman there.
Wow.
Once he gets his hands on you, it's over.
He's like
just so
wide.
big.
He's so wide. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna get around you. Wow.
We'll take a couple more here, wrapping up. Shea, asked Chad, Shea, did you play with Jeremy Tatum at Hattiesburg? I think I remember that name, but I didn't play shit. So, I wasn't on the team. I'm just saying that was our team's quarterback.
He was hanging out with
Bro, we're 5A football. Not that I'm playing any football anyways, but like our basketball team was going to state and playing Provine and Lanier, and they had NBA dudes on their teams. There ain't no spots for
ain't no playing time
guys
here for
like me in 5A South Mississippi football or
He's
basketball.
like, Shea, we need a kicker, coach.
My buddy was one of the my buddy actually, because we were on soccer team, became the punter for the football team. Got hurt, so he went out there and he faked a punt, and he got it. He was fast as hell. White kid was blazing speed, and he fakes the punt, which was not called. And don't even sit on the sidelines.
Like,
just leave.
Just
go away.
Go get dressed.
That's it for you. So he got a game in, and that was it.
So they kick him out the team.
And he got blown up on he got past the sticks and just kept rolling.
He got
Just
killed.
crushed him. Let's see. Miss Taylor, what do you think the starting wide receiver rotation is? It's got to be Malik, Bryan, and that's your starters, I think.
I think you go Malik. Bryan.
Is it Kyron Lacey? Is it Aaron Anderson?
I think Aaron Anderson is the slot on this
Okay.
team. And then you go
Malik and Bryan on the outsides?
And then sometimes
And you got Kyron, and then you only got two other guys coming back, Hilton and Ibieta.
Chris Hilton's interesting.
He's got to stay healthy.
Right.
He's a freak.
Because when he was healthy,
And he's got speed the others don't have. Not that all the others don't have, but he has some very elite vertical ability where you're like, oh,
okay, he can run.
he can run. Brian Thomas can run.
Yeah. Yeah, I would go with Malik, Brian Thomas, Aaron Anderson. And then the depth would be, I would say Chris Hilton would back up Brian Thomas.
Yeah.
And then you go Kyron in the slot. Or maybe Kyron will go
Ibieta
behind
played some slot this year. I think that's where he's playing in the bowl game, too.
Yeah, so it would be probably Ibieta behind Aaron Anderson.
Then you see what Jalen Brown or Kyle Parker or Shelton, one of those guys can do.
I'd like to see Shelton.
They got some receivers.
Do you think
Jalen Brown's intriguing?
I was
with
about
that
to say
speed.
Jalen Brown looked good in the All-American
And
Bowl.
you can send him vertical.
Is he
get
a
going.
returner guy too?
Yeah, he can return. He returned in the All-American Bowl. Almost busted one.
I'll take that.
Austin Reeves or Rivas. Always, maybe I messed that up. Rives. LSU's obviously going after a transfer linebacker, but do you think stocking up all the DBs is saying the defense wants to run more nickel next year? I definitely think they want they want to have 5 DBs on the field. Like, he would only have 2 linebackers out there most of the time.
Yeah, I mean,
And if you've got an edge rusher, you're good.
Yeah, in today's football, that's what
it is.
it is.
And I think there'll be more multiple along the D line of what they do, who they have out there, whether it's putting a nose tackle, whether it's not. Rob Boudreaux, Shea, did you play with Afro Man? Actually, I did go see an early Afro Man concert in high school. It was in the middle of nowhere. It would be like if you're here and you just drove out to like some field in Gonzales and like that was like unsanctioned and watched some local rappers.
Wait, Afro Man is from Hattiesburg?
He's from that area.
Wow, did not know that.
Now you know. Does Zalance want to be referred to as just Lance? Or I guess a lot of people do call him Lance Hurd. I don't know. I've always just called him Zalance. I'll ask him, though. I don't want to call a 6'6", 330-pounder by something you don't want to be called by. Get me right.
Whatever you want me to call you,
Mr.
Bro.
Hurd. Does Trades Green still need to decide if he's a football or basketball guy? I think, in a way, he's playing basketball right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Feliciana.
And I was reading.
You'd have to just see how highly recruited he becomes in each sport. Would you read?
I was reading a piece earlier on 3, and it was saying that the LSU coaches are hitting the road to see some recruits, and they're going to see him today.
Okay.
But there's another West Feliciana kid that they're
There
going to
is.
see.
I forget his name. He may even have an offer already.
Right here.
Yeah, Ace Jordan, Palmdale, Mississippi. Palmdale's peak of my life. Let's see. He prefers Lance. That's what they're saying. Well, we'll call him Lance.
Call him whatever he wants to be called. Play left tackle, coach.
All right, well, last one here. We're wrapped up. From Miss Taylor, or not Miss Taylor. Ask Shea. You think we beat Florida State the first game since JD's comfortable in the system and the defense seems more established? Stewie, how are we feeling there? Florida State also looks good
I was about to
because
say, they've
got their quarterback coming back. They flexed on the portal. They got Jared Verse coming back, who was a top 15 pick.
I mean,
That's going to be a great game.
But they did lose some starters to the portal, too. Like, they lost some DBs to the portal. And maybe a linebacker.
And it's in Orlando.
Yeah, it is. Same field they both played on.
Yeah, they both played in the bowl game on it.
I'd say this is almost like, I wouldn't say even matchup, but it's
even.
Yeah, it's getting close to that, like even as you could get for a opener.
Both teams, I think the game will look a lot better than it did.
Oh yeah, last year it
where
looked
it was just like both teams were kind of like, I mean,
Florida State ran like 3 trick plays to get their big yardage plays, and it's like,
yeah, Jordan Travis is more settled, Jaden settled.
This is
the Nuss Bus might come in and sling 1 or 2 for you.
This is gonna be it's probably gonna be a physical game.
It's very clear now. Malik, like you've got, like Malik knows where he sits. He's that guy.
I thought they had ruined him after that Florida State game. I
thought they should have gone back to him. I thought he should have just been the returner all year.
What a bounce back by him, though.
Go ahead.
Like, what a response to just come back and
first game of the year. People are
like bagging on him. Like they were
killing him, bro.
They were like
last game of the year. He's holding up the MVP trophy.
He had to deactivate his comments on Instagram.
Bro, remember that? All of them were.
Like that was a crazy night.
You started the year Everybody's deactivating their Instagram. You end the year, double-digit wins, SEC West champs. That's called a comeback.
Yeah, comeback story. BK takeover.
All right. Well, shout out Lance Beal. Stewie, we did it.
Shout out to Lance Bill. We did do it.
Got right through it.
Free Lloyd.
Shout out to everybody in the chat today. A lot of people watching. Appreciate it. Shout out to the law offices of Lance Beal. You'll hear more from him in a second, but we appreciate all his support from the start. Made it through a full season and into the off season now. And, hey, look, we actually did 10 to 11 this time, Stewie.
I know. Look at us.
The rare 10 to 11 move.
Hey, we try to do the right things around here, you know?
All right, now let's wrap it up. Stewie, we good?
Yeah, we good.
Let's rock.
Free Lloyd.
Salute to everybody. Hashtag don't call to come back.
Hashtag Free Lloyd.
Used to be, when you needed legal help for complicated issues, you could walk into your hometown lawyer's office and get assistance for a variety of legal needs. Nowadays, every time you have a different issue, it seems like you have to meet a new lawyer at a new law firm for every legal problem. Attorneys Lance Beal and Kenny Hebert at Beal & Hebert in Lafayette are here to offer you one law firm for all your legal needs. Beal & Hebert have several attorneys experienced in multiple areas of law, whether it's personal injury, family law, estate planning, business law, construction law, and more. Beal & Hebert can handle all of your legal needs. Beal & Hebert, Louisiana's hometown lawyer.